Hello guys, Shane Graham, former Saints and many other teams, former kicker. Remember that time I nailed the game winner in Philly to give the Saints their first ever road playoff win? Well, all I had to do was just picture Ralph's face on the ball. I guess you guys are part of a podcast. Well, I've heard it. I turned it off because I didn't really want to listen to it anymore. So good luck with everything. From what it looks like, it seems like you guys drink too much, bad takes, and honestly, Andrew, Kevin, and Dave, you guys are lame too. Have fun, guys. Who dat?
All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. This one's on YouTube. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Go to saintshappyhour.com, become a patron. There you get access to all our breaking news podcasts, the full episode, Andrew. People are mad that they're only getting the 5-minute version on the free feed. Hey, if you want all the breaking news podcast, you got to be a patron. That's a special thing we give to the people who support the podcast because we love them more than the people who don't.
Maybe if you support us, Ralph could get bigger fat heads behind.
That's right. I got
it. Would
fat
actually
head.
be
I got
visible.
I got Sean Payton. I got Jerry Jones. Andrew, I want to let people. We're going to give them a peek behind the curtain because I feel I'm hurt this week. I text with Andrew more times than I text with my wife. I talk to Andrew on the phone every day more than I talk to my own wife on the phone. And he's been really mean to me this week. He's telling me, stop this nonsense. Stop this panicking. Sean Payton is going to coach in 2023. They're going to get a first for him. Nobody's hired anything. Stop with this panic. Stop with this go to Fox nonsense. And he's getting meaner and meaner, and he treats me like a younger and younger child. It's rude. And the people should know about it, Andrew, but you are extra confident. Like, it's all nonsense. You think it's all calm? Tell me to calm the bleep down. It's all nonsense.
If you follow our podcast, if this is your first time watching us, listening to us, then you might not know this, but for those of you that watch us with some regularity, you know that panic is Ralph's brand. That's what he lives and dies with every tweet. He refreshes his timeline, and everything that comes across his face is the end of the world. It's like, that's it. He can't release himself from it. It's abject truth. Everything that he reads is tea leaves to something greater that he's already arrived at a conclusion for. So like, there's no we'll see with Ralph. It's like, this means this. Done. Game over. And so he sees one thing to like, oh, this other team had a second interview. Well, Sean Payton has a guy, so it's over. He's going back to Fox. The world is ending. We're not even going to get a Saints season. We're all Bane is going to destroy the earth. But Ralph, I look at it like this. There's 4 teams that interviewed him. How many NFL teams have interviewed a coach? How many candidates have 4 interviews lined up?
Well,
Sean Payton, that's the list, Ralph. That is the list. One guy that everyone is interested in. And by the way, there's a report that some mystery team is still out there, so it might be 5.
Yeah.
And my thing is, like, look, no disrespect to Benjamin Albright, the Broncos supporter, but like, he doesn't even speak for the Broncos. You think I'm going to worry about what he puts out there? He certainly doesn't speak for the Cardinals, the Panthers. He doesn't know anything about those teams. So like, to pretend that some leak that he got from some guy in the Broncos organization, by the way, Russell Wilson called Sean Payton personally and desperately wants him. That's got to stand for something. But look, I don't know if he goes to Denver or not. What I know is this. None of these teams have hired anyone else. So, yes, when those jobs start to fill, if they start to go one by one and Sean Payton is still out there, he still hasn't gotten a job, and these positions start filling, then one by one I get a little bit more worried because that's one less opportunity, and clearly he's not at the top of their list. But as we sit here today, none of those positions have been filled. And what that tells me is that they're all waiting on Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Right. And so, like, any of the stuff that's out there in the media, like, I just view it as posturing. It's negotiation ploys. It's We're going to negotiate through the media. Maybe they don't like what Mickey Loomis is asking for. Maybe they don't like what Sean Payton is asking for. And he's the top choice if they can get the salary or a little bit more reasonable or the draft comp. And look, these owners, these GMs, they haven't gotten to where they are by being loser entrepreneurs that have no
Sean
idea
Payton,
what they're doing. These are some of the richest people that our country has, and they've made all this money by being shrewd businessmen. So they're not stupid. They're going to know how to play this in their hand, and so they give up less compensation. They give up less money to Sean Payton, and it's all part of the game.
Yeah, and listen, Sean Payton wants a lot. It's money, it's power, control. All of it. It's a lot, and it's a lot to work through, right? It's not just, okay, we'll pay you $20 million and we'll give you the keys to the castle. It's a lot to work through contractually, and I want to give.
So you're agreeing with me?
I wish I could give a person credit.
So you're going to stop panicking? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not.
You're going to stop panicking? Is that what you're saying? You're saying you agree with me and you're going to stop this insanity?
No, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop panicking. But I forget who it was. It was a conversation. I think a friend of the program, Randy Mueller, was in the conversation, but I don't want to give him full credit for who said it, but it may have been him. But it was a really great point, and it was this. He said, the thing you need to remember is the less job openings there are, the more time a team can take. And he said 5 job openings this cycle isn't that many. Remember last year, I think they had 8 or 9.
Yeah.
And he said, when you have 8, 9 job openings, as a GM, you have to hire a coach because that coach has to fill out his staff, and you have all these teams rushing to get fired. He says, when you have 5 openings, he says, you have a little breathing room. It was in that conversation. I think it was Randy Mueller. If it wasn't, if I'm giving him credit and it wasn't him, I apologize. But I thought it was a really good point in that these teams have a little bit more time. And here's the thing, Andrew, is if things don't get done this week or next week or the bye week between championships, the NFL sort of has this, it's an unwritten rule of no big news during the Super Bowl. And teams mostly adhere to it, although I guess the Matthew Stafford trade came out like the weekend of the Super Bowl, I think, or maybe the weekend heading into it. So maybe it won't happen. But the point is, the big news is going to happen next week. The thing with Sean Payton is he's such a big name and he's so connected and plugged in. I'm not going to argue if he's the best coach in the NFL because of Belichick, whoever. But as far as rock star media, people want to hear from him. People want to talk about him, quality. Sean Payton is in a league by himself. And what I'm realizing today is Florio just vomited it up like cowboy speculation, right? He just made it up out of thin air. He's like, Dallas, they fired a bunch of assistant coaches. Maybe Jerry's setting it up. And Jerry didn't say Mike McCarthy is going to be my coach. What he said was, I am not changing my mind about Mike McCarthy after this playoff loss. So Florio just ran with it, right? And what that made me realize is Sean Payton is such a big name. When there's no leaking from either him or the team, there's a vacuum of news, and we have to fill it. The Florios, the Albrights, we crave it so much that people just run in there. We can't just be like, well, there was no Sean Payton news today. Well, it's okay. It's a Thursday, and there's not going to be any Sean Payton news, and we're going to go about our lives. Because he's Sean Payton, that's not allowed. And we have to fill the vacuum with something. And the speculation just gets out of control.
And they know, they know that that's how they get clicks. Their whole business model is based on interactions and clicks and raising their profile, and leveraging the Sean Payton news is an easy way to do that. So, look, as I stated before, as these jobs start to fill up and Sean Payton is not the guy, then I start to get nervous if they start to get picked off one by one. But honestly, even let's say there's 5 jobs, even if 4 are gone and there's 1 left, all it takes is 1 team.
That's right.
That's it. He doesn't have to get all of these jobs. He just has to get 1. And he's won a Super Bowl. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. And he may not get exactly what he wants financially. The Saints may not get exactly what they want draft capital wise. But at the end of the day, I have a hard time believing that Sean Payton would do this whole song and dance just to go back to Fox. He's a guy that has an ego. He's a guy that loves to compete. And he's been sitting on ice for a year in a Fox studio where he's a complete afterthought. No, let's be honest. It's all about Strahan, Howie Long, Terry Bradshaw, and he's a complete afterthought. He comes on the show like at the end in a final segment, and they're like, for 10 seconds, Sean, like, give us who you think's going to win this game and tell some dumb story. And that's it.
That's right.
And like, I know that Sean Payton is like, the media thing is not really working out for him. Yeah. And I know that he wants to be more than that. And he's already stated he misses football. So I guess it's possible that he could go back to Fox for a year and then like double down in earnest next year and look for a job. Anything's possible. I would be disappointed if that happens because then the Saints don't get a pick this year. But I'll stick with what I said. And look, I've been wrong before. And so if he goes back to Fox, I'll be wrong again. But I'd be stunned. I would be stunned because then it's like he did all these interviews. He put all this stuff out in the media for nothing.
Yeah. Well, two things, and then we'll get out of here. First thing, the biggest surprise to me in this whole saga is the churning up of things that are off the field, like the Saints. The rumors of Sean Payton, we won't necessarily get into it because you can't confirm any of it, but there was a churning through Ben Albright of off the field stuff with Sean Payton. That was really, to me, surprising in a sense of that told me, Andrew, there is someone connected with Denver that really doesn't want Sean Payton. I don't know who it is, but they are through Benjamin Albright are going scorched earth in a way I have never seen a respected member of the media go at a potential coaching hire, where I was like, wow, you are bringing up some stuff that's off the field, that's dicey, you're alluding to it, and this guy might be the coach of the team you cover, buddy. This is a dangerous game. That really surprised me in a sense, but I guess it's 2023. People need clicks. People want attentions. Maybe I shouldn't have been.
No, I think, look, the odds are his source is probably telling him hates Sean Payton. And I've heard that like Denver is super divided on coaching decision. Like, ownership wants one thing, GM wants another. Russell Wilson wants Sean Payton. So like, there's a lack of alignment inside that building on which direction to go, and they're debating it. And obviously, someone is being vocal about not having him and leaking stuff to Benjamin Albright. And obviously he's going to stick with his source, right? Because that's the person that's going to keep feeding him information. So we'll see where it goes. And I don't know necessarily that he is going to Denver if they're that divided.
That's right.
But yeah, Sean Payton has enemies, man. Like, you know, Sean Payton is, he's petty, he does kind of, he kind of lives by his own rules. He's pissed some people off. And there is off the field stuff.
And he's not, and listen, we love him as Saints fans because he won. He got us a Super Bowl. And for the most of us, unless you're blessed enough to be a Saints season ticket holder, most of us for the Saints, it's a TV show we watch, right, Andrew?
And I think we all realize we realize he's not a choir boy. Well,
no, but he makes that building. He believes that the building should be uncomfortable, and he's kind of, in a way, like not the most pleasant person to work for. And I know fans like to think, oh, every team, everyone in the building cares about is winning a Super Bowl and being the best team we can be. But I can tell you, like, that's not the case. There's a lot of people in a lot of NFL teams, like, winning isn't their main thing. And they might be like, a powerful person might be like, I don't want the jerk running this building. I don't want the building uncomfortable. I want the building happy and go lucky. And like, winning is not the most important thing. So like there's a lot of things at play with Sean Payton still to be decided. Final thing. And you're going to yell at me for this, but I really believe it. Sean Payton, like this we need to get this wrapped up. He needs to be a coach somewhere for the 2023 Saints benefit, not just draft picks. Maybe it's me personally, I don't know. But I think it's bad if Sean Payton goes back to Fox and he's lingering over the Saints in 2023. That's bad for them because, Andrew, as soon as it starts to go bad, they have 2 bad weeks in a row. Oh, Sean Payton might come back. And it just ramps up even more because you'd be like, well, he didn't get a job last year. And maybe his market wasn't as good as he thought. Maybe Sean Payton will be like, maybe he'll consider it even more coming back to the Saints. And I don't want to live in that world where the Saints start out 4-2, but lose 3 out of 4, and they're 5-5, and we have to deal with 9,000 Saints have lost 3 out of 4. Sean Payton thinking of coming back. It's all over PFT, and it's just swirling around the building. Like, I don't want to deal with that another year. And I think that could be potentially detrimental to the 2023 Saints.
I completely agree with you.
Oh my God.
I want to scream at you that you thought I was going to scream at you.
I did. I was bracing for it.
If he ends up back at Fox, that's the worst case scenario. And it's not just about the Saints not getting the draft picks. Like, they could get draft picks for him next year too. So, and I don't know. I don't agree with the take that it materially changes the comp that much. Cause like, they still have his rights. If someone wants them, they still have to negotiate through the Saints. So, you know, maybe the whole thing about like, they only own his rights for 1 more year. So like, could get frozen out again, and then the subsequent year the Saints don't get any comp. Maybe Mickey Loomis relents a little bit, but I think that would be bad for him to go back to Fox. And I agree with you. If they have a losing record, then I know. Look, it might not even be the media that puts it out there. Fans will be like, fire Dennis Allen, and we still got Sean under contract. Let's just give him an extension and run it back with him. And my understanding is he doesn't want to come back. Now, maybe a year from now, you know, if he interviews at 4 or 5 places and it doesn't work out, maybe he's like more amenable to being like, maybe the Saints is home if Dennis Allen fails. So who knows what this looks like in a year? But like, I just think that hanging over the Saints as an organization would be.
Do you think me and you agreeing that like it hanging over the Saints is a bad thing? Do you think the Saints,
although a scenario where they go 2-15, they fire Dennis Allen out of a cannon, and Sean Payton comes back and drafts Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Does that do anything for you?
It does. My pants just got tighter. I think
I would actually consider suffering.
I mean, the thing with that scenario, you gotta guarantee me at least Caleb Williams. In that scenario, like if I'm gonna stomach 2-15, you got to guarantee me Caleb Williams. But here's the thing that I just thought of. I know me and you and a lot of fans are like, Sean Payton hanging over the 2023 Saints. It could make the season less enjoyable. Could make it harder on the Saints. They just don't want that swirling around the building. Does that make Mickey Loomis more amenable to a deal? In a sense of he's like, listen, he's going to Denver. I told Denver I wanted a first and 3/3. They're offering me 31 from San Francisco, 67, and a 2024 fourth. It's 80% of what I want. I can't have this hanging over us deal. Does that make him more likely to be more flexible in the comp?
I think right now, he's got 4 teams interested, so why would he be more flexible? But yeah, as it gets down to 1-2 teams left, and those are the only ones still like lukewarm interested in Sean, then the market, I don't want to say it's collapsed, but it's just there's less competition. And so I do think your asking price and demands have to go down. That's only natural. Mickey Loomis is going to do whatever is best for the Saints. And, I think he wants a first-round pick this year. He doesn't have one right now. So
that's right.
If he can find a way to leverage this to get one, I think that's a big deal. So, but he's going to do what's best for the Saints. And as I've said before, Mickey Loomis has stared down Drew Brees and his agent and drew a line in the sand and said, if you cross this line, I'm not offering you anything past this. So you can go be a free agent and sign with him.
And by the way, that was heading into 2018. It wasn't like that was when the Saints were like 7-9, 7-9, and we're like, maybe we need to reset this thing, and maybe the fun's over, and we need to rebuild. No, Mickey Loomis did that after 2017. He looked Drew Brees dead in the face and was like, take it or leave it. We'll go get someone else with this loaded freaking team in 2018. So to your point, Mickey Loomis, he ain't going to blink. He ain't going to blink.
He has brass balls. He has a long history of that. And so, yeah, look, I think there's a chance that the comp, but like changes a little bit. But for Mickey Loomis will maximize whatever he can out of this. Like you can criticize cap decisions, you can criticize some other things, but at the end of the day, I firmly believe that.
Yeah. So guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on YouTube, share it on YouTube, but go to saintshappyhour.com and become a Saints Happy Hour patron so you can get our podcast every single day, including full episodes of breaking news. And I guarantee you, Sean Payton saga, off-season draft, breaking news, free agency, nobody gives you breaking news analysis podcast faster and more timely than us. Spend the $7, become a Saints Happy Hour patron. I promise it'll be worth your Saints fandom to do so. So for Andrew, for Thomas running the show back in Poland, I'm Ralph. We will see you Monday on the live stream.